Welcome back. In this episode, I finally purchased Sea Monkey, a Top Hat 25 pocket cruiser. I haul her out and do the antifouling. I use the opportunity to replace the plumbing in the head, and I also do the freshwater and saltwater plumbing and clean out that horrible looking bilge. I do some electrical work, and finally I get to go for a sail. I hope you enjoy the ride. Well, I've taken the plunge and I've bought a yacht. I guess it was going to happen at some point, especially after some of the amazing experiences I've had over the past year and a bit. What sort of yacht? Well, I'll tell you about it in a tick. But the philosophy behind getting this particular yacht was kind of like inspired by a book I read by Lynn and Larry Party, The Self-Sufficient Sailor. And those of you in the yachting community will know that their famous quote, "Go simple, go small, go now," is the one that really strikes a chord with a lot of people, and that's what I did. So I got a little boat called a Top Hat 25. This boat is called Sea Monkey, and Top Hat 25. They're actually quite a famous boat in Australia because they've done some amazing things. I think at least two of them have circumnavigated. A lot of them have gone around Australia. A lot of them gone up and down the east coast of Australia. It's a 25-foot sloop. It's a masthead sloop. It's a full keeler, round about, I think, 2.5 tons displacement, and it's got a 50% displacement ratio. So it's quite a firm boat. And a couple of reasons that I chose this one. Well, I've wanted one for ages because they're because of their pedigree. But there's a few things about it that really make it stand out from some of the other ones that I've looked at over the time I've been interested in boats. First, it's got a really good capsize screening formula. Sits at around a 1.8. Anything less than 2 is really, really good for ocean going. It's got a comfort ratio, I think, of around 28. So it's a coastal cruiser. I wouldn't say it's a serious blue water cruiser with that kind of numbers, but it's certainly no lightweight, and it's slightly underpowered, which I quite like. It means that if it gets up in a blow, I'm going to be able to shorten sail quite easily, and not have the boat overpowered. It's a very simple boat. It's doesn't have an inboard, has a outboard in a well. That was one of the things that I was a little bit split over, whether or not I went, because they do come with an inboard, whether I go for an inboard or an outboard. In the end, I settled on an outboard. One, because the outboard is easy for me to service, and they're also really cheap to replace compared to an inboard. But interestingly, if you do get pooped, you've got a massive hole in the cockpit sole that drains the water really, really quickly. The only downside that I can see is fuel economy. They're not quite as economical, but keep in mind that Lynn and Larry Party spent years and years circumnavigating the world and did that on boats with no engines at all. So that's quite interesting. Anyway, with this one, the outboard, it is a little bit less fuel efficient, or a lot less fuel efficient. And they're also noisy and smelly, so I don't plan on using it that much. It's mainly just to get out of the bay and to manoeuvre around marinas. I've got this. Well, the steering will be locked off. I've got a few jobs to do. So anyway, today is the day that I go out and meet her properly for the first time. Look at all the jobs that I've got to do. I've taken some inspiration from a few different sailors that I've followed on YouTube. James Friedrichs, Sailing Tritea, who bought a really, really cheap Alberg 30 and did it up over the period of 4 years. Sam Holmes, who's seems to be the master of just dodging small boats up and sailing them anywhere. Vernon Deck, Learning Sailing While Doing. I've learnt so much from that guy in terms of the things that he's done to his boats. He's owned 3 boats, I think, over the years: Sparkman Stevens, Sayers, and now Trade Runner, which is a really nice fast cat. But he's he does a lot of work himself, or all the work himself, and so I've taken a lot of inspiration there. So let's see what the future holds with this boat. I guess the next time you'll see me, I'll be in the little dinghy on the way out there. Come along for the ride. So heading out to Sea Monkey. We're going to, it's called Sea Monkey. I'm not heading out to Sea Monkey. That joke. It's not too far, it's probably about maybe a quarter of a mile. And then I'm going to slip Sea Monkey for 4 days, anti-foul, and do a massive list of jobs. But first, need to have a look. So I'm all sorted out off the mooring, and I'm heading up to the slip to get the anti-foul done. So it's all looking pretty good. Motor goes well. As you can hear, it's noisy as buggery. Anyway, not doing too badly. So far, so good. So it's had a good bum scrub, got all the barnacles off. There was a big bloody barnacle up in there, can't really see it, but there's a through the cockpit drain.
There you go.
Awesome, thanks mate.
No worries.
There we go, got the anti-foul. And that is going on there tomorrow. So it was a big day today. Got the boat out, did a couple of jobs that I needed to tick off the list before getting it up on the hard, and then scrubbed the bottom, got it all ready for the sanding and priming tomorrow, and first coat of anti-foul. And then in between the coats of anti-foul I'll go through the other jobs. But because the boat's up on the hard, I can't actually stay on it. So I've reverted back to the old camping situation. Found a spot where I can pretend I'm fishing and throw out the swag next to the car. And that's the plan. So I've cooked dinner, sausages and I think it's a burger, looks like it, and some salad and an apple for dessert. And yeah, down for the night, up early and get into it. Got a little bit of work to do today. First thing is to sand all of these patches here that you can see where the anti-fouling hasn't keyed in properly in the previous anti-fouling, and so sand all that back with 40 grit. Put a coat of primer on, and then once that's dried, put a coat of anti-foul over the top of those patches, and then do a final coat, a first coat of anti-foul. Also, there's a little bit of chipping there that I'm just going to fill with some flow coat mixed with talcum powder just to thicken it up a bit. And I'm going to send the drone up to check out the masthead and see what the condition of things are up there, instead of climbing it while it's on the hard, which I really don't want to do. Anyway, I'll get to work. Making a satisfying video. Perfect. Almost perfect. I've got to say, this is the job I'm really not looking forward to. Getting all this bloody plumbing sorted out. This bilge, I hate bilge, I nearly swore. Hate bilges. Anyway, deal with it. Okay, that's looking a bit better. Nice tidy bilge. That is the fitting for the automatic bilge pump, and I've just got these bits of hose coming out out of the water tanks. An interesting setup with the fittings. They've just got like those bits of copper pipe sticking out of the tanks, and you just sort of plug the hose onto that. But the System 15 that I'm using, the Whale System 15 Quick Connect, won't fit on that, so I've had to sort of make an adapter arrangement. Anyway, we'll see how we go when it's all done. Alright, there's the plumbing done. I still need to, there's no water in the tank, so it's not an issue, but I still need to put clips there, on pretty much all the water tank pipes there, and I need to install a valve like one of these in the starboard water tank. I won't be using the water tanks anytime soon anyway, because they're pretty shitty, and I may even go to plastic ones. Hello, this is Future Mark, and I'm just going to pause the video here because what I actually am about to describe is a whole bunch of stuff that I eventually ripped out because I opened up all of the water tanks and they were putrid. I've actually decommissioned 2 of them, and I've installed a soft bladder in the central water tank, and it works brilliantly. Anyway, back to the show. So to summarise, installed the new saltwater stopcock with plumbing going back. That will actually work now. So there's, if I wanted to wash my hands with salt water, I could do that. Here's the System 5 quick connect stuff. So right down the end there, that one there goes to the, loops around and goes to the base of the bilge water tank, I suppose you would call it. This one here goes up to the deck wash, and that's the one that goes to the bilge water tank. Has got a valve on it. And the port side water tank with a valve, starboard side water tank with no valve, soon to be installed, and got the water going into the tap in the galley. So it looks all nice and new. I'll probably fill up with shitty bilge water again soon, but the bilge pump should take care of that. And there is, you can see the foot of the deck mounted sort of there. Focus on my finger. There. That's the foot or the intake for the deck mounted or cockpit mounted bilge pump. That pump is FUBAR, so I'm going to have to replace that one at some point. Anyway, plumbing done. 99%, just a couple of little bits, but it's safe. The obligatory head repair video. So it seems like every time somebody buys a boat, there's a replacement of the head that needs to be done. Fortunately for me, it's just the pump because it's all leaking through here and around the handle there. I could probably replace the seals and everything, but it's actually a pretty straightforward job just to get one of these pumps. Long screwdriver down into there, that's fine, but got the bulkhead here. Oh, it's not really a bulkhead, it's just a wall, and that doesn't reach that screw there, so I've had to use a smaller screwdriver like this with some vice grips on it, and that's gotten it off. Anyway, the other drama is if you look down here, that's actually a 1 1/4 inch fitting going to a 1 1/4 inch hose, then going over to the head, the outlet down there. They've heated it up and expanded the I guess the internal diameter of the hose and forced it onto a 1 1/2 inch or 38mm outlet, which is really not cool. So what I've done is got a step down fitting here. Actually there's a built-in non-return valve, which is handy, and I've checked that it will actually evacuate the waste appropriately. So I've got a 1 1/4 inch there going to a 1 1/2 inch there, and then I've got some sanitation hose that I'll put on there and fit to the pump on the head. What you also might have noticed while you were down here, probably not, is there is only one clip on that seacock going from the 1/2 inch fitting, and down there at the other end it's a bit hard to see because it's dark. You can sort of make it out there. There's another single hose clamp, so I need to double those up. Double hose clamps on all seacocks is the go, and we'll see how we go. So we'll check back in once I've done a bit more work. Okay, this is the bit that I'm dreading. That's locked. I'll lift this off and it will be full of, oh no, yeah, there's a bit of water in there. I thought that was just going to be full of poo, but it's not. That's cool. Probably wee. Anyway, gotta get rid of all that water. Alright, a little bit of water came out, but not too bad. Here's the new unit. So, just plugs in, just like the other one. Comes with the little valve that goes in the bottom, and I've got some nuts down here from the old toilet that I can use, the old head. Alright, let's get right into it. The valve on the bottom of the head can only go one way. It has 3 holes, you can see there. Oops, sorry. There, and there. And there's 3 prongs. They can only go one way, like that. If you try to go upside down, holes don't line up. So, kind of foolproof in that way. Sorted me out. Alright, then install the head. You're actually meant to have a vented loop. That's why I've got the non-return valve there, because there's not a great deal of room in here to put a vented loop in to stop siphoning into the toilet. Also, I basically, if I use the head, and I rarely do, I just open the seacocks, operate the head, close the seacocks, so the seacocks are always closed and there's less likelihood of siphoning. I guess the only risk is that if the seacock fails, then you run the risk of flooding the boats. So I guess you just have to keep sailing on the port tack so that you got that bit of the boat out of the water. Anyway, enough me talking and you looking at my dunny, and I'll show you when it's done. Alrighty, so you can see we've got 2 of the circlips on, not circlips, what am I talking about, hose clamps on the stopcock hoses. I pause a lot when I talk, can't think of the right words. Anyway, I've done a big poo in the toilet, so time to test it out. Water on. Okay, the seacocks are on. Okay, let's see if I can flush that poo down. Only joking. That was for the kids. Alright. Wet bowl. Seems to be working. No water leaking around here. Get a torch. Okay. Nope, no leaks. No leaks. Okay, so as you can see, there's water in the bowl there. Then we move the switch to dry bowl and we flush it out. Okay, all flushed out, and move that around to lock. So you can see there, lock. And that is how you use a marine head, and also how you replace the pump bit. Now I'll check that there's no water in here. It's not the prettiest looking side of the boat, but anyway. And what I always do, sorry, torch. Let's make sure those stop cocks, off, and you might be able to actually make out down there, they're bungs. For every stop cock, you should have a bung in case the whole thing comes off and you need to plug a hole in the hole. Anyway, another job done. That looks a bit shit, so I'm gonna move that out of the way like that. Probably, I don't know, make it look nice somehow. But you know, not a fancy boat, so not going to go for fancy plumbing. Hope you found that interesting. Well, I'm pretty buggered. Been going for 15, 16 hours now. Anyway, it looks messy, but it's actually organised and safe. I've installed a Victron battery shunt. You see it flashing in the back there, and an MPPT solar charger. And you wouldn't think that all of that has taken so long, but it's a huge job. Anyway, that's the making safe and battery monitoring bit. Down the track I'll probably upgrade the panel, but just wanted to get phase one out of the way, which is done, and I know where all the wires are, and get a sense of that's all the shit that came out. My god, there was some crap in this boat. Well, I'm shithouse at this video recording, you know, documenting the refit of the boat. But anyway, it's a bloody mixture of faffing about with a GoPro and then just running out of time during the day. So I've just been going like all over the place like a blue ass fly. Anyway, I've done a lot, so I'll video the bits that I've done. So there you can see a VHF antenna, that's all done. Had to remove all of the lining in there to get the jammers replaced. Redid the furler, redid the furling lines, the furling line, fitted a B&G Triton, did all it's a little bit kind of temporary until I had more and more bits down the track, but it's an NMEA 2000. The bilge, I think I showed you that before. A bit hard to see down there. There we go. Fitted the bilge pump. That's the new saltwater stopcock. And that garden hose there, I just left that. That's the breather for one of the tanks. That's all nice and clean up in there now. I mean, it looks dirty, but it's a lot better than it was. It's the bilge pump switch. You can see that works, and that's automatic, which is where it'll stay when I leave the boat. Yeah, and I'm about to install a VHF, so it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's just the tiniest little job, takes forever. So here's the moment of truth with the B&G. See if I've got it all wired up properly. And yes, nice. I've fitted it there because it's a bit hard to tell in the cockpit. Those walls are all really curved, plus that's where the sailbags go, the sheet bags. So there's really nowhere to put it. I could put it on the combing above, but actually when I'm helming, looking down in here, it's really easy to see. So, and it's also out of the weather, I suppose, even though they're waterproof. But yeah, as you can see, it's all pretty cool. Just got to configure it now. I thought that rather than climb the mast whilst the boat was on the hard, which is quite dangerous, I would use the drone to check the masthead, look at the things that needed to be repaired or replaced, and also to inspect key components of the rig. So here you can see that the split pins are all in place. The shrouds, the forestay attach point, the rear stay attach point, the rear stay itself, the swages, all look to be in good condition. I'm also looking at things like the furling swivel at the top there, and you see I've flown quite close here. Gives me a good look at the brackets at the top of the mast there, and a nice view of the marina as well. And just a look at the top of the foil there. I also have a look at what type of tricolour I've got on the top there. I end up actually dispensing with the tricolour, but I do replace that anchor light down the track with an LED anchor light and install a Windex. There's a nice view there of the shoals that are on the edge of the channel there, and you can see I'm having a bit of trouble here controlling the drone and getting it nice and close, but at least you get a nice view of JJ's restaurant there. And here we go. This is the shot that I was looking for. Looking down on top of the masthead, I can see there that there's a fitting for the Windex, which I utilised later on. There's also a fitting there for a wind, like a wind measuring device. I forgot what they're called, but like the B&G wind transducer, or the Raymarine ones, the Garmin, they all sort of use similar fittings. And looking down there on the yacht as it's on the hard, and that's me there operating the drone. As you can see, the slip arrangement is a little unusual. It's a fairly small hard stand and a fairly small slipway, but they can handle some pretty big boats. But you do have to come in at a higher tide so that you've got plenty of clearance underneath the keel. But anyway, it's a big machine that drags the boats up and down on a set of railway tracks and then moves it across to the side. Just gave her a pressure wash, and looking pretty clean. Got rid of all the mildew. All the lines look good. Mind you, I ran a few new lines, but yeah, looking great. That thing's called a spinnaker pole. I'll probably never use it. If you like what you see, click like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button. Thanks for watching.